بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected teachers and dear participants, Jazakallah khairah for taking the time out on this evening with us, and we thank you for joining us. We're hoping that we keep this session short and sweet, and we try to go through a number of features that are available in IBEAMS. Not a number of features. In fact, there are many features that are available in IBEAMS, but out of those, today we will be focusing on the exams features that will help us in preparing and also recording examination marks, etc. There are lots and lots of features, and no doubt you will have lots of questions. Many of you have been using IBEAMS for many years. Some of you have started using it recently, and there might be some of you who are not using IBEAMS yet. So whichever category you fall into, we're hoping that this session is useful for you, inshallah, and we'll try our best to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to send a message on the chat, and we'll try to pick them up at the end. If we are unable to answer your questions, of course, later down the line, you can raise the ticket maybe later on after the session or tomorrow, and we'll try to answer your questions through the tickets on IBEAMS itself, inshallah. So first of all, what we wanted to show you is the fact that on IBEAMS we need to make sure that we're up to date. So there are lots of features that are being released. Alhamdulillah, the team has been working hard. Recently, a number of features have been released. So how do we keep our IBEAMS system up to date, and how do we check that? And so quickly looking at the top right corner where your name is. So that's one way of going there. You click on your name, and then you click on system. Once you've clicked on system, you will see the version will show up here. It will tell you which version you currently are on. So currently this system is on 3.22.9, which is the most up-to-date version, the latest version of the system. So it will tell you, of course, you are running the latest one. If you are not, then there will be a link that you click on, and it will update your version of the system. If you are quite behind, for example, you're on 3.18 or 3.19, then that would probably be around 20, 30, sometimes even 40 versions behind, because there's lots and lots of updates that have gone on. If we go to the bottom of the page, you'll see here version history. If I open up, you'll see here, just in 3.22, there are about 10 updates, or 9 updates, and then 3.21. There are lots and lots of updates. 3.20, there are lots. So you're looking at 30 to 40 updates if you're on 3.18 or 3.19. If you do run into any issues, of course, feel free to send us a message through the ticking system, and then we will be able to assist you further. So first of all, if we haven't updated yet, go ahead and update it. The most recent update that was released was to do with the registers. So today's registers has been changed. It was taking up a lot of space. And so now it has been made into a self-contained widget where you can actually now see the teacher's name as well as the class name, the session, whether the register has been done yet or not, and how many students are present today. So that's one change that has come about. The second change that actually has been released in the most recent update was today's attendance overview. Before, on the dashboard, you could only see how many students are present. Now we've got present, late, and absent. If you go to the register dashboard, it will show you sort of a detail of all of the classes. That's a page that we haven't yet worked on, but of course that will be something that will be worked on by the team soon, inshallah. So there are a number of features that are being released. If you keep your system up to date, you'll see these features, inshallah, in your systems on a regular basis, and they are all based on your feedback. If you have something that you want to request, you can go ahead and click on this question mark icon next to your name, and once you have clicked on request a feature, you will see an option to actually request features or features that have been requested. You can see here, some of them have been completed, some of them are still new requests. As many as the team can work on, they are being worked on. These are the most recent ones that have been released. As you can see here, on the 3rd of May, a number of them were released. 2 days ago, a few of them, and 1 day ago, a few of them have been released as well. So keep your systems up to date. If you have any suggestions, feel free to suggest them. We're not saying all of the features can be worked on, There might be certain features that may, it might be a larger task. I'll tell you the next feature that's going to be coming on actually is import classes, which might not be useful for a lot of the teachers or admins that are on the webinar with us right now, because you already have your system set up. But if you are joining new, or you have planned to join soon and you have joined just to see sort of the system, then there is going to be, in students, there is already an import option there. You can import with a CSV. For contacts, you can also import them with the CSV, an Excel document basically. And teachers can also be imported. Classes you had to create manually up until now. So that's a feature that's currently being developed, and we're hoping that in the next update that will be released as well, inshallah. So like that, lots of features here that are available in the IBEAM system. And today's session will focus on exams and how to set up exams. Connected to exams, if we have time, we might look into a little bit of how to create reports from the system and how parents can access them. We will be talking about portals. There's the teachers portal. There is also the parents portal. So we'll talk about them as well, inshallah. Again, as I've mentioned earlier, if you have a question, feel free to ask that question on the chat, and we'll try to get to those questions at the end of the session. Recording wise, we are trying to keep a recording. Inshallah, the recording will be made available if everything goes well. But do try to stay throughout. And if you have any questions, of course, you can ask them straight away. So let's get started with the exams feature. Inshallah, I'm going to pass it on to Maulana Atiq, who's going to take us through the exams features.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وسيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله الطاهرين وصحابته أجمعين وبعد. Jazakallah khairah to Maulana Qasim for starting us off today. Inshallah ta'ala, the aim of the session, like Maulana Qasim has mentioned, is to show how we can make our madrasa that little bit more efficient when it comes to exam time. Alhamdulillah, exam times is one of the most stressful times for every single teacher and the leadership of a madrasa. So here we are to show you how we can make that little bit easier. Now, when we're going to make a examination or a test, some of the key features that we're going to be looking at doing is ensuring that the test is in line with what we need for our madrasa. So we're going to, first of all, head to the exams or test tab in the menu on the left-hand side. We're going to select all exams and tests. Now, for myself over here, you can see that we have a end of year 25-26 examination that has been set for the 22nd of June. Very quickly, I'm going to briefly show you this exam, where in which we have all the classes listed. They all have 10 individual tests or examinations they're going to deliver. And then you can also see all the subjects that they're going to be covering in that session. Now, there's a couple of layers we've got here, you can see, subhanAllah. Now, all these layers, we're going to unpack them very quickly and smoothly. So firstly, we're going to need to add an exam. All right. Now, before we add the exam, there's a couple of elements we want to kind of cover. So the first is grades. Now, every examination has a grading system. That grading system here we have, the first one being that in your exams, how are you giving them the percentages or marks? Now, this is all to your own bespoke systems within your madrasa, because every madrasa will run with percentages. Some will run with grades A, B, C. Some will say that a bit more lenient, that our A band is a bit wider, etc. So the default system at the moment is as you see on the screen in front of us. Now, to add a new grading system, we'll click the button. We'll give it a title. So let's call this, for example, July 2026. Right? And now these are the bands. Now these bands are here, or you can add, minus, remove, whatever you want to do. So you can add a new row if you need to. Now, so for example, what we'll do is, let's say someone who's got an A++, it's got 101, right? Then we've got someone who's got up to 100, A star, then A. We'll leave it as this. Let me remove this one, make this a B. Here we'll change this one to a C. Here we'll change this one to a D. This one to an E. And we'll remove the new row, right? Now, if I click save, it'll give me the entire breakdown of how I set it up right here. Now, I'm going to have to remember that I've titled it July 2026, or my default one is this one here. Okay, now as you can see, all the bands are well covered, as you see them right in front of us, 0 to 50% E, 51 to 60 D. I've done that. Now my grading system is ready. I need to ensure I've got my subjects ready. Now, all my subjects are available in front of me over here. These are the subjects I pre-populated to save you the bit of bore. But we'll add one extra subject here to say that I'm going to do a separate examination, which I might decide to call History of Aqsa. So we call it Aqsa, right? I can give it a description, right? Or instead, I can just save it. I've added the subject. Now my subject Aqsa is now coming. As you see, it's all listed alphabetically. So it's easy for us to understand and recognize. Now that I've added my grading system, I've added my subjects, I can now go to all exams and tests, and I can add a new exam. Now, I want to show you the full process. Even though I've got one full set one here shown, I'm going to show you the process now. So the exam type, I've got a couple over here. I've got official exams, I've got progressive tests on the left-hand side, I've got semester exams. Now, each one is easily explained to me, especially if I show you a special hack of a website that we've developed that is actually the most useful tool that anyone that's using IBEAMS can actually access. It's a AI integrated help file. So if I can go over here and I type in exams, how exams or tests work. Now I've got all my information right here on exactly what each element of this section might mean to me. Okay, now I've got key points for exams. What are progressive tests? Right, so now exams refer to official exams that would take place once or twice a year. The end of year reports show results from official exams only. Then we got progressive tests, work exactly the same as exams. They're not official, meaning the end of year reports will not show these progressive tests. Furthermore, teachers can add progressive tests on teacher portal, whereas official exams can only be added by admins. Now, it will take some time to digest, so I want you all to just write down, note down, screenshot help.ibeuk.org/v2. And then you search exams, you search any little element that you want to have a bit of assistance with. Inshallah ta'ala, you will find it available on this page. Now, there's one more that you might probably ask me about, which is semester exams. Now, semester exams are they base the exams results on the end of year reports where you can combine more than one official exam to determine grades, positions, and final results. Meaning, there are some madrasas that say, do you know what, your mid-year exam is going to be 30% towards your final marks. Here you will combine all these results, inshallah, and we'll delve into them deeper on another occasion. But this is where you can conveyance all your different exams into one big result. Now, we were adding our exam. Now, the official exam is going to be added and included on the reports. It's going to be the exam name. We're going to give it Summer 2026, right? Now, the exam date is very crucial over here. A lot of the time, we feel that we're going to need to cover all our elements of our exam in one go. Rather, what we're going to do is we're going to give the first official date that our exams will begin is the date that we're going to give to this test here now. Now, because I already have an existing exam, I know that already. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I've not got too much of an overlap at this moment in time of my two exams. So I'm going to start this exam on the 1st of July. For the academic year, this is my existing academic year that I have set on my system prior. I'm going to click save, and now my exam is now available to me. But you're going to notice the 0 classes included in this, and I can't, like the class below, I can't see anything available. Right. Now, just before I enter into this next step, I want to clarify one key important point, that if you have an exam set up, right, and you're going to be starting it, but you've got new pupils who are enrolling after the start date that I just set. So I just set a start date of 1st July 2026. Because I might have a student starting afterwards, that student may not show up on my examinations. So I need to make sure that I have enroll that student prior to the exam starting, or my exam date on this system will start a bit later on. Okay, but that's something to take into consideration. If you have any questions with regards to this or want to understand it a little bit better, put it in the chat. Alternatively, we can show you a little bit later on how you can get in direct contact with us so we can assist you, inshallah. You can obviously do it via the feature request form, or there will be a few other methods that we also have brought in play. Now, my summer exam is my exam period. Now that's something to remember completely, yeah? This is a complete period that I'm starting off. Now I've got edit tests. This is where I'm now going to add my subjects. Now you can create your exam specifications here. When a class is ticked, the teacher is automatically assigned. Only if the exam is assigned to a different teacher should a teacher be selected from the drop-down. Now what I'm going to do right now is I want to scroll down a little bit past a couple of these little points here. We'll come back to in a moment. Now I'm going to come here. I've got my test class. The official teacher for this class is my test teacher, or your boys class. Sheikh Imran Khan teaches them. Right? Now that's the default teacher that will be able to input the results of any given exam. Right? Now you notice all my different subjects are listed here: adab, ahadith, akhlaq, aqaid, aqsa, and all the way down in alphabetical order to tarikh, Quran, etc. Qaida is all included in between. Right? Now there may be certain classes that you have already pre-assigned a subject to, right? Where you probably have timetabled your entire completely fine. But what you got to make sure is when we're coming to make these exams, we're going to select all these classes because they're all going to be taking the adab exam, right? Is the exam going to be written or oral? I can set that here for all of them in one go. Change them all to oral, change them to written. Next. Now you got maximum marks and the grading system. Now, this is where I'm going to scroll back up a little bit, and here you got set default maximum marks. So now the default maximum marks that I want to give for every class is 100. I can change it to 4, all subjects. As soon as I do this, any other marks I might have input is going to get reset. I click OK. Now my maximum marks are now available, and you'll notice as I scroll down, the maximum marks for all of them is available here. Now, grading system. Alhamdulillah, we took a few moments to set our grading system. I've got 2 grading systems with default and July 2026. The moment I click July 2026, I'm going to set it for all classes, and my grading system is present. Now, what you can notice here is, alhamdulillah, you have the ability to reassign your exams as you see fit to whatever grading system you want, to the maximum marks on each paper, or your expected results for your oral exams. You can choose whether you want it written or oral. You can choose which teacher is going to be inputting the marks for it. So for example, you come down to the Quran section and you decide that our teachers are going to swap classes. So this teacher is going to do this one here. The test teacher is going to take this class here. This one's going to take this class. And you're going to change up the teachers. You're able to do so as you want to. All right. Now, what we want to do here is we're going to reassign, of course, just because I want to keep it quite simple for us, inshallah ta'ala. And that way is a bit easier. Now we've got our classes set. Everything is available now. Now you're going to be thinking, okay, what's next? Now, alhamdulillah, thumma alhamdulillah, just to show and highlight how much we're trying our best to ensure we've made this system as easy as possible. Previously, this button here wasn't present. We made sure that we got this feature added because individual classes were having to be selected to make sure the accuracy of the examinations being assigned to the right teachers, right classes, and right subjects being assigned to the right teachers as well. Now, we've got here akhlaq, aqaid. Now, you're noticing here that I'm leaving all the other settings, the written, the max marks, etc., all set as normal. But this one, I want to change this exam to oral exam. Okay. Fiqh, I'm going to do the same. Quran, I'm going to do the same. But I need it to be an oral exam as well. Seerah is going to be the same, written exam. Surah and Dua is here, but I want to make that a written oral exam as well. Tajweed, I'm going to make that an oral exam as well. Now that doesn't matter. This is just an extra little quirk we've got available to us of whether you want it written or oral. Now you're seeing this green button throughout. Well, we're going to come down to the bottom. We've got this blue button which is floating next to us, as well as at the bottom here. I'm now going to click Save All Exams. Now you're going to see it scrolling through, alhamdulillah, giving us showing us saving all of them. Now what might happen is you might have or might not have. The reason you get this little update here is because you might have left a couple of errors. All right, you might have removed a couple of subjects, etc. Because when you click Save All Exams, it updates it. Now, this is your July 2026 examination period. Every single subject you're going to cover, all now available at your fingertips, confirming that all these exams have been added. Now, that is how you have made your exams ready and available. Now, the next steps are, what do we do with this now? How do teachers interact with it? So for that, Mawlana Qasim Sahib is going to come back in and give us a bit of information, make sure we've covered all our angles on this side here, but also show us how now a teacher will now deal with this examination being present. So here we go, summer 2026 official examination, 6 classes. They all have, during the exam period of summer 2026, we have 11 tests available across the 6 classes, and these are all the subjects that they're going to be participating in. Now here you can see view, add results, a full overview. But before we continue, I'll let Mana Qasim come back in, inshallah.
Jazakallah khairan for that. So before we go into the portal, I just wanted to go through some of the questions as we're getting them, just to keep them fresh and answered, as that will make it easier for us to go through everything and everyone to follow, inshallah. So the question that has come is that, when you click on edit tests, then you have all of the list of exams here, and you'll be selecting whichever exams you want to set for your students, and then you must click the save tests button. Once the save test button has been clicked, that's when it gets saved. It is not auto saved. So if you're working, then you can either press the button for each subject as you're doing it, or you can select all of the subjects in all of the different subjects, all of the exams, all the tests in different subjects. And you can see here there's a floating button that follows you around, and you can click on save all exams. You can keep clicking that every time you make a change. Whatever change you made will just get updated. So it doesn't overwrite anything that you have done previously. Rather, it just updates any changes that have been made and gives you a summary at the once the saving has been done. And there's also a button right at the bottom called Save All Exams, where you can make changes all together and save everything in one go. One question has come is that the register. So with examinations, and we'll show you this in a moment, this is actually to do with the teacher's portal. With examinations, when someone's absent on the exam side of things, you can just click absent, so then that student is marked as absent from that test. Where it comes to adding a comment of why they were absent, etc., that will be done as part of the register, and the comment can be added there by the teacher or the admin, and the student can be marked as authorized. So that was another question: can they be marked as authorized or unauthorized? They can be marked as authorized or unauthorized by the admin, not by the teacher, but by the admin, because the admin would usually be told by the parents whether the student has permission or not, and the admin will decide on whether that is acceptable. So authorized and unauthorized can be marked by the admin themselves. By the way, if we do miss any of your questions out, don't worry, we'll go through them again, inshallah. We will be making note of them separately, and so that will be that will be covered later on, inshallah. So now Malati wants to add something. Yeah,
just before we do continue, just to chime in very quickly. Here, we're obviously, with IBEAMS being a madrasa management system and everything being here from an administrative point of view, we are preparing the exams to pass on to our teachers. The actual exam papers will be made in-house or using the Al-Nasiha exam portal if you wish to. So this is the key element here, that we are setting up the exam period for our teachers. They're going to make their own papers, they'll mark them, but they'll come back to the system and inshallah ta'ala input their results, and from here we can then integrate them onto reports and send it out. The madrasa management system is our administrative system, inshallah.
So this is going to let you save all of the data related to the marks and whether students absent, etc. And it will then automatically calculate, of course, based on the grading criteria that you've put up, where who's come first, who's come second, who's got A, B, C, etc., will be automatically calculated. So let's take a look at that side of things. So we're talking about portals now. Some of you may be familiar with portals, some of you may not be familiar. So if you're not familiar with portals, well, there's 3 types of portals. If I scroll down on my left-hand side menu, click on tools, and then portals, you'll see we've got 3 portals here. There's a teacher portal, parent portal, and a student portal. So we're talking about the teacher portal first, because that's where the teachers will be entering their marks once they have manually and by hand marked all of their papers. Or if there was a Quran exam or a Qaida exam or a Surah and Dua exam, they've listened to it. It's an oral exam. They've listened to it, they've marked it on their own piece of paper, or if they haven't done it on piece of paper, they had a laptop in front of them, they could open it up and directly enter the marks into the system. So in order to set the teacher's portal up, you click on Setup. Once you've clicked on Setup, you have 2 options here. Either you host it on your own website and that your own website, meaning if you had a website called masjidnoor.co.uk and you wanted teachers.masjidnoor.co.uk, so that's called your own website, and that requires your own web developer to do one little bit of work. If you don't want to do that, you want to make it very easy for yourself, then you just click the green button, and within a very short span of time, 1 minute maybe, you'll be able to create it. You just have to put a unique name here. So for example, if yours was Masjid Noor, you put Masjid Noor here, and it will click on create portal. Now it will create a portal for the teachers, and you can then copy this link that you can see here in this green box. Once that's copied, your own link would of course be your unique link. Copy that, send it to the teachers, and they'll be able to start logging in using their own login details. And if they don't know their password, they could have forgot password, and they'll receive the password. So let's go ahead and log into one of the teachers. This is a neat trick for the admins. If you didn't know this, you can go to school in the left menu, go to teachers, and you'll see a button next to your teachers called portal. And if you want to log into any of these teachers portals, you can just click on portal for that teacher, and you'll be able to log in. So let's go to test teacher. When I click on portal, it will open up a new page for me. It will give me some things on the dashboard. Inshallah, this will be also updated soon. So let's quickly go to exams. And in exams, you'll see these are the exams that have been set up, the tests that have been set up. You can see here, this is summer 2026, 1st July 2026, that has been set up for the test class. And then there was another exam that was set up beforehand, so that's also here. You can switch them off, of course, which we'll talk about later on. So now, as a teacher, I've entered this page here. I've got, adab exams, which I've marked myself. I click on results, and you will see here, I've got my whole class listed here. As Maulana Atiq mentioned earlier, if a student has joined the class after the exam start date, then that student will not show on this list over here. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's quickly enter some data. Let's give the student 55. Let's say 98. Let's give the student 29. Click on 79 here. 65, 90, 100. And then we'll give 55. And last one, 87. In fact, let's delete 87, and let's say this student was absent. You can see here, they've been marked out and grayed out. You can't actually enter the mark for that student as well. I've entered all of the data here. You can see there's going to be a chart that's going to appear here once I click save. If I click save, it saves the data. It gives me a quick summary of the grades that students in this class have got, or in this subject, shall I say. And you can also see it has reorganized the data according to who's got the highest and who's got the lowest. You can see here first, second, third position. Their marks has been organized already by just clicking save, and the grade has been given according to the grades that you had set up or the admin had set up on the admin's portal. So what does NA mean? Well, NA means this exam is not applicable for this student. So this student, for example, did not take part in adab for whatever reason, and so this doesn't apply to. They just started, for example, and adab was done at the first half of the year. So NA would be that this student does not need to take this particular exam. So we've now entered the data. Now that data will actually show up on the admin side. So I'm going to hand it back to Maulana Atiq, inshallah, and he will show us with regards to locking the results and closing the exam.
So now, alhamdulillah, we've managed as a teacher to upload all of our results in. And now as an admin, now it's up to us to now make the next steps to ensure that these reports are locked off and making sure they can't be changed no more, and they are now ready to be sent to the respective parents, inshallah. So the results are they're ready to be passed on to our reports, inshallah. So now we come back to our all exams and tests, and inshallah what we will do is we will come over to our exam period again, and from this exam period we're going to now look at what we're going to do with this respective results period, inshallah ta'ala. So at the moment it says status is open, so we need to make sure we close this. So we come back over here and we come to close exam, or we can lock the exam. Now what we're going to do is we're going to currently choose to close the exam. right? So what that means is now that the exams period is now closed off and is now safe to to know that no more results are going to be changed. And here it says that the results period has ended, they cannot be added, and results will be visible for parents. Now, that's if on the parent portal side, we've left the results open for the parents to see. Over here, we've got status is locked, the results cannot be added, and results will not be visible for parents. So by closing it off at this moment in time, we have left it that parents can now see the period. So I've now opened it up again. I'm going to lock the exam. Now, parents can't see it, but we are now ready to do what we want with it to take it, inshallah, to the next level, to then consider going over onto the reports. Now, as admin, I would always advise, always open it up and very quickly have a quick, brief glance across all the results. So obviously, the results haven't been input for this specific teacher here for the boys class, so we won't have anything. But if we go to the test class, to test teacher, and view all results, you're able to see here for the adab that all the results in one place. You don't have to wait for all the different papers or anything like that. You can also go to download it as a PDF if you wish to as well. Here you've also got that, okay, first position, second position, third position. When you are also having the results or you're having the reports prepared, you can choose whether you want to show first, second, and third on it or not. Here, it makes it easy for you as an administrator. In one place, you've got all your results. You know the entire class is ready. The overall percentage is available as well. And inshallah, it makes it easier when you want to give your end of your awards out, you want to give your prizes, acknowledgements of students' efforts as well, mashallah. So here you're able to see that, mashallah, Faisal Patel, hypothetically, he was a student who wasn't progressing so well, but mashallah, coming up just at the edge, just outside the top four, outside the top three, sorry, and in fourth place position, mashallah, making good progress. SubhanAllah, test student was absent. Now that's something easy for you to follow up. You know how many exams they might have missed and what you to follow up. Some madrasas have a policy that a child can't move on until they, unless they've passed all their examinations. This just makes it all easier for us to see everything in one go and one place, inshallah ta'ala. Hopefully we found this quite enlightening and endearing, inshallah ta'ala. Maulana Qasim is going to be coming back in, inshallah ta'ala, just to give a little bit of a show of what the parent portal itself might be able to do, inshallah ta'ala. Now, for the parent portal, obviously you want to access it via the students themselves. So very quickly, if I bring this up, there's one student here, his name is Faisal Patel. I access it by scrolling down. I've got his information in front of me here. And inshallah, you can then access the parent portal through this little button over here, inshallah. Bismillah.
So that's another neat little trick that you can follow. If you wanted to log into, if a parent is telling you that they can't do something or they can't see something on their portal, you can actually log into their portal without needing their username or password by clicking on this link. So we've got Faisal Patel here. What we've just seen right now is that the exam has been closed. Once the exam has been closed, if you go to the parent or lock, sorry, you can go to the parent portal and you go to exam results. You'll see exam results. You can see here that there is one exam that has been completed and one test was done. When I click on summer 2026, well, it's supposed to actually show the result here. For some reason it's not showing up, maybe something is missing, but the results the parents will be able to see on this particular page, inshallah. Now there's some questions that have been asked. For example, if it's marked to NA, would it affect their percentages? It shouldn't affect their percentages. Is it possible to remove the marks and leave the percentage? When you print the exam, it looks neater. So that is possible. You can also download all of the results as CSV and mail merge into your own template if you wish to. But there is, of course, an entire reports feature, and you can create your own reports template as well, which is within the system that can be covered separately, inshallah. Another one is, if we want to separate the total for Quran and Nasiha, do we need to create separate tests or exams? So if you wanted to separate Quran, etc., you would create separate subjects. So if we go to exams, you'll see subjects here. And so in the subjects, you would then have multiple items here. If you wanted to have the whole of An-Nasiha or whatever curriculum you follow, if you wanted to have Islamic studies as one subject, you can have that. And that's what will be marked on the exams, on the tests. And Quran as another one, Qaida as another one, surahs and du'as together, or surahs separate, du'as separate. That can also be done. So it's according to how you set the subjects up. Once you've set the subjects up, then it will that will come up on the test side of things. Is there option to upload the marks as CSV at the moment? No, there is no option to upload a CSV. That would have to be uploaded manually by the teachers individually. I think that would cover all of the questions, inshallah, that have been asked. If we have missed any of your questions out, of course, feel free to reach out to us. How do you raise a ticket? So the way you raise a ticket is you click on this question mark on the top right corner, and you can see here it is contact us. When you click on contact us, it says raise a ticket. That will allow you to then go ahead and raise a ticket and get some support from the team, inshallah. So that's with regard to raising a ticket. There's lots more to cover, lots more that we want to share with you. And alhamdulillah, IBEAMS it's a feature-rich system. It's something many people, when they sign up initially, we normally suggest to them that, look, get to know one feature properly, two features properly, three features properly, and then move on and train your teachers and move along to the next area. And so that's what we would suggest to yourself as well. Look at the exams feature, test it out, try it out for yourself. And once you've done it enough times, you will then be able to train up your teachers on it as well. And of course, our team is here to assist you further. How do we assist you? We've got a link. We will be able to share that with you, inshallah, after the webinar is finished, where you can book a one-to-one consultation with Maulana Atiq or potentially myself or another member of our team, where we can go ahead and actually support you one-to-one for your questions. So one of the questions that has just come through is, can you check through the semester feature? It hasn't worked in previous years, so we will get the team to take a look through that, inshallah, and we will ensure that it continues to work. But at the moment, we've gone through the exams, the full exams feature. The reason for that is, of course, is the end of the year, and many people want to use that. So inshallah, we'll look into that, and we will try to correct any issues that may be arising. The last thing I will do is, alhamdulillah, recently we opened up an IBEAMS channel, and we wanted to make sure that everyone is up to date with the IBEAMS channel. So please go ahead and scan this code, and that will take you to the IBEAMS WhatsApp channel. On the WhatsApp channel, we'll try to post little tips, potentially little videos, in order to support you further in answering any of your questions with regards to using the system and any new features that have actually come through. With regard to other features, there are lots of features. We are hoping that we are able to have more of these sessions where we can go through features one at a time to get you confident with these features and to be able to allow you to maximize your use and benefit from this IBEAM system, inshallah. We are also hoping to have video tutorials. So right now we've recorded this. We will be uploading this to the YouTube channel. If you search it up, IBEAMS Advanced Management System on YouTube, you'll find the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. We will be uploading this video. We'll be uploading other shorter videos as well that will help you, make maximum benefit of the system. We want to try to keep these short and sweet so that everyone can take some benefit, take a few steps forward. Of course, there's lots more to discuss, but we want to make sure that we can get started at a fast pace, and then we can take it from there. Once again, Jazakumullah khairah for joining. Inshallah, we will end the session here. If you haven't scanned this code, go ahead and scan it and join our IBEAMS WhatsApp channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to raise a ticket for any questions that may not have been answered for you today. Jazakumullah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.